Hello, driving intelligence community. You see behind me an 8-gallon compressor. I was trying to use this one day to sharpen some lawnmower blades, and the thing wasn't working properly. It was leaking air where I thought was the relief valve. Turns out it was another section of this air compressor. I've actually never worked on air compressors before, and this is kind of the theme behind driving intelligence. Used some logic to assess where the air was coming from. Did a little bit of research on the internet. I kind of assumed it was the check valve. You'll see in this video how we resolved that. But now it works perfectly. It's like a brand new air compressor. And I even found the root cause for the problem. So follow along on this. Like I said, I've never worked on air compressors before, and generally a lot of the stuff I do is a first time. But I just as I said, use general logic, use the internet as a really good source for information, and you'll be able to solve problems like I do. Working with this Blue Hawk air compressor, it turns out that it wasn't holding air. It was leaking somewhere around here. I originally thought it was the relief valve, but it turns out it was this valve here. Didn't know what this is. We looked it up online. It's a check valve, and there was air leaking out of here consistently, which means that air was coming out of the tank. So this check valve is designed to prevent air from escaping from the tank back into this line, and this is a relief valve. It actually has like a pinhole in it. You can see there's a bit of a little filter there, but there you can see that little pinhole. That always lets air out. The problem is, once this tank pumped up, the air was constantly coming out of it, so the check valve wasn't holding. We took put that in later. We took this big plug out, and inside that is a rubber valve with a spring, and you can see the dirt was holding this thing open and not letting it seal. Now the root cause of this was that this filter here, this filter system that's for air intake into the compressor, had broken off, and it was allowing filth and dirt to come into the compressor and get blown into the tank. So we had to take this entire hose off, and unfortunately things that are old and used, those O-rings, which are new now, had rotted. Had to put some new O-rings on. I happen to have some for automotive AC systems that work perfectly, and now we can reassemble this and it should hold tight. So the test didn't pan out because it was still leaking. The check valve wasn't working properly. Took it apart, and this spring, the two sides are different sizes, so you need to make sure that this rubber relief, or this rubber part of the relief or check valve, is in its proper section, because it actually cocked in there, and it was definitely allowing the air to come out at full bore. So we're going to reassemble this with the check valve properly assembled, and then test it one more time. In this case, two times is a charm. We've got almost, we actually have 50 pounds of pressure in the tank to test it. There was a little air that escaped, but that's the pressurization in this tube, so it's to release the pressure out of the compressor portion, but this is holding tight, so it's as good as new. So in summary, if you take your time, carefully remove the parts, put them in an order that helps you for reassembly, do a little research on the internet, you can resolve, I would say, probably 8 or 9 out of 10 items on your own. A lot of times I think we just feel we're daunted by the task, and it's not as difficult as you would think. In this case, it was extremely easy, and I happen to have O-rings in stock, in my stock, that I could use to repair the feed line. So it kind of gets back to, don't replace it, fix it, or in this case, I don't think anybody would throw an air compressor away, but at least you can attempt your own repair before you have to take it to some repair location and spend probably $50 to $80. This cost me only my time and maybe 10 cents worth of O-rings. Thanks for watching. See you next time on Driving Intelligence. And don't forget to give me that thumbs up.